The sun had barely risen over Lagos, yet the streets of Victoria Island were already alive with the hum of danfos, the scent of fresh akara by the roadside, and the impatient honks of kiki riders. Inside a modest roadside buka, Amaka moved briskly from table to table, balancing trays of steaming jollof rice, grilled fish, and pepper soup. Her black apron was faded from countless washes, but her smile remained bright, the kind that could light up even the gloomiest morning. She wasn't just working for herself, she had a little boy at home, Chibuzo, her 7-year-old son, born with a physical disability that made it hard for him to walk. She'd never call it a curse. In her eyes, it was a blessing wrapped in a challenge, one she was determined to face every day. Money was always tight, but she would skip meals just to make sure Chibuzo had enough to eat. That morning, she had to bring Chibuzo to the buka, because the neighbor who usually watched him had traveled. She set him at a quiet corner table with a small plate of yam and egg sauce, telling him, "Nana, just stay here, eat, and don't worry. Mummy is working." Chibuzo smiled, his eyes bright, though his legs were curled awkwardly under the chair. Unbeknown to Amaka, a man in a navy blue agbada had been watching her from the far corner. His driver had parked his sleek black SUV right outside, but no one paid him much attention. His name was Chief Olufemi Adebayo, a billionaire businessman known for his real estate empire and philanthropic gestures, though he had grown wary of people who pretended to need help just to exploit his generosity. He was here incognito, without his usual entourage, waiting for a meeting that had been delayed. His eyes had wandered to Amaka's small acts, how she gave an extra spoon of beans to a man who clearly didn't have enough money, how she smiled at every customer, as though they were family, and most importantly, how she occasionally checked on her boy in the corner, gently wiping his mouth when she passed by. Chief Olufemi's heart was stirred when he saw Chibuzo struggling to lift a spoon. Without hesitation, Amaka knelt by him, held the spoon, and fed him with a tenderness that drew the chief's mind to his late wife, who had been just as kind-hearted. He felt something shift inside him. This wasn't a woman doing charity for show. This was a mother doing what mothers do, no matter the hardship. When she finally noticed his steady gaze, she walked over, slightly nervous. "Good morning, sir. Would you like more tea or something else to eat?" The chief smiled faintly. "Madam, I am fine, but tell me, is that your son?" "Yes, sir. His name is Chibuzo," she replied, lowering her eyes. "He was born with some health challenges, but God day." He asked more questions, and Amaka, though cautious, answered honestly. She spoke about how she worked from sunrise till nightfall, about the therapy sessions she could barely afford, and about her dream of one day opening a small restaurant of her own, so she could have more time for her boy. The chief didn't say much else. He quietly finished his meal, paid his bill, slipping an unusually large tip under the plate and left. Or so she thought. An hour later, a man in a suit entered the buka, holding an envelope. He walked straight to Amaka, and said, "Madam, this is from Chief Olufemi Adebayo." She frowned, confused. "Who?" The man smiled. "The gentleman in Agbada, who sat in the corner earlier." When she opened the envelope, her hands began to shake. Inside was a check, not for a sten, 000, or a sten 100,000, but for a sten million. Alongside it was a handwritten note, "For Chibuzo's medical care, his education, and for you to build the restaurant you dream of. I saw your heart today. Continue to be the light you are." Tears welled in her eyes, spilling freely as the buka customers gathered, whispering in disbelief. 10 million naira, someone gasped. Another shouted, "God has remembered you, Amaka." Amaka fell to her knees right there on the buka floor, clutching Chibuzo. "My son, see what God has done for us. This is the miracle we have been praying for." Word spread through the neighborhood by evening. Some people doubted it, others praised it, but Amaka knew the truth. It was kindness that had brought this blessing. The next month, she opened Chibuzo's kitchen right on the main street. She hired 2 women from the neighborhood, made sure every staff member was paid fairly, and started a small program to feed children in need every Sunday. As for Chief Olufemi, he visited quietly one afternoon. The restaurant was full of laughter, aroma, and joy. He ordered his meal, paid double, and simply said to Amaka, "Keep shining." Amaka never forgot that day in the buka, and she never stopped telling people, "You never know who is watching when you show love." And to you reading this right now, if this story touched your heart, please click the like button, subscribe for more real and inspiring stories, and drop a comment below about the biggest act of kindness you've ever witnessed. Your story might just inspire someone else.